I work at Salesforce. I'm product manager. I live in San Francisco. I work with a product team, working on analytics for 3 years, and on Einstein Discovery for 1 year now. And so today I'm going to tell you how to make your application more intelligent with Einstein Discovery, which is a big title, I think. So stay with me. Of course, you love this slide. Forward-looking statements. So, the first thing is, customers are already living in the world of AI. Like with every application you are using every day, with like on desktop or mobile phone, it's kind of like you use it without kind of knowing it. And let's go through some example of that, right? So for example, who is using Netflix? Great. You love Netflix? Yeah, it's pretty cool. So on Netflix, when I go there, it's kind of like based on what you are looking at, they are going to browse everything and they are going to recommend you what other people like that you also like. And so, for example, if I go to Gilmore Girls, you can see like a 92% match, which is a strong, right, signals. And it's actually exactly what we want to have. It's like inside an application, be able to recommend me what I should look at seamlessly. I don't go somewhere else. I don't try to, search for what others are looking like. It's really seamless for me. I don't have to do anything about that. So it's pretty cool. Who like Gilmore Girl, by the way? Do you know Gilmore Girl? You should look at it. It's pretty cool. It's kind of a girly show, but it's great. The other one, really, which is really like also embedded, is Tinder. Who use Tinder? This is like harder question to ask, but nobody? Oh, come on. Come on. So Tinder is exactly the same, right? You're on your mobile phone, you are checking people, and based on what you like, they are going to recommend you automatically what you may like or not. So of course, sometimes the machine makes a mistake, and you say like, no, sorry, not this guy, don't like it. So question now, is like, okay, like in consumer app, you can do this stuff, it's pretty amazing. You can really like make more value of your product. Why we cannot do the same in Salesforce, right? Why can I predict stuff? Why can I bring AI to make stuff smarter? Which is exactly, I think, what is possible. Because at the end of the day, it's just science, it's just mathematics, it's just statistics. And so, to be able to do that today in Salesforce, what you can use is Einstein Discovery, which we have built, which is basically an application in Analytics Cloud that is going to be able to browse all your data that you have in your organization and be able to find trends, to be able to find insight, and be able to create a model behind the scene without the need to be a data science. That you will be able then to reapply to Salesforce and do predictions. And of course also we have like more features, like for example we are going to create what we call a story to be able to explain you the model that you kind of understand if the machine is going in the right direction or not. And once you're happy, you will be able to embed it inside the platform. So it's really what we want to do with Einstein Discovery. So now, let's take an example, right? So I took the Dreamhouse applications. So who knows the Dreamhouse applications? So, okay, like half of the room. So basically Dreamhouse is an example that you can find on force.com, which is going to build some kind of like website for real estate, where you can manage your rooms, your house, you can manage the sales cycles, like put your house pictures, how many rooms and so on, and the selling price. So what I did here is I used Dreamhouse, so I deployed Dreamhouse, it's a dev org, so anybody can do that. And I tried to make smarter Dreamhouse, and what is the most important thing that you may want to know when you are selling your house, before you sell your house? What is it? You may have a prize if you find the right answer. What is the most interesting when you are selling your house? What do you want to know? Exactly, how much I'm going to sell my house, right? Or what can I do to make a bigger sale? So it's exactly what I did here. What I did here, I created a model with Einstein Discovery to be able to predict the price of the house and how it looks like. Here, I go to properties, and this is a Dreamhouse package that you can deploy. You can see like your title, number of rooms, and so on. But what is really interesting here is you can see Einstein Discovery. Einstein Discovery is predicting that you are going to sell this house for $4,400. But not only we have a prediction for that, we are going also to tell you like why we think it's this price. Because assess value is in between this range, because you did not renovate the kitchen, so it's not so great, you know, we are removing like $4,000. Because also the realtor, the person you have selected to sell your house, is this specific person. And you know, based on your past history, we know that it's a great thing actually, because they have plus $2,000. But what also is interesting here is you have improvement. So like, what can I do to be able to sell my house at a higher price? Right? And for that, I can renovate the kitchen, I can renovate the bathroom, or I can change realtors. So let's say, you know, bathroom, you know, to renovate the bathroom is actually a little bit more than $7,000, so it's not very interesting. But for the kitchen, that can be interesting. So I'm going to edit. I'm going to say, okay, I renovate the bathroom. Oh, kitchen, sorry. True. I'm saving the record. And now, based on that, the Salesforce objects have been updated. Now you can see that you have renovated kitchen, which is checked. And now I'm going to refresh the page. And because we are going to automatically resubmit all the parameters, we are going to get a new estimation. And you can see now, I have a new predictions. You can see the selling price have increased. You can see also that I have different reasons. For example, like a renovated kitchen is true, so it's plus. I have a different also improvement based on the fact that now it's a new record. So now, you know, I made this application smarter to kind of like, you know, Netflix or Tinder to really make our business users more efficient. Now the question that you may have, or not, I don't know. Let's see. Is it real? Can you do the same demo as I did now? What do you think? Yes, no? No. Okay, who still yes? You can do the same. One person, awesome, thank you. So, you don't even trust me? Oh, thank you, okay, great. So, how you do that? How you do these demonstrations? You can do the same. The first thing you will have to do is you go to the trailhead. We have Einstein Discovery trailhead, where you can create a dev org. Inside this dev org, you are going to have the full dev org capabilities, plus you are going to have analytics, plus you are going to have Einstein Discovery. It's going to be enabled, you will be able to use it and test it. Now if you want to do exactly the same as I did, you will deploy the Dreamhouse package, and also you will deploy a managed package that we have built to be able to do the write back, be able to do the communication between Einstein Discovery and your Salesforce organization. You will then create some custom field on your record to be able to store the estimated price, be able to store what are the causes, and be able to store the reason and how you can improve it. And finally, what you will be able to do also is you can create process on top of it. So for example, because now it's stored in Salesforce, right? If you want to say like, oh, if my house go over a certain threshold, I want to be able to create a chat post. I want to be able to send an email. So let's say like, you know, if my predicted value is more than 250, I want to create an action automatically. And this is what I did in this org. And normally it should have posted, you can see here, 2 minutes ago, I had a channel post that has been submitted automatically. So, because you can link that to all the business process. So, you know, it's possible. So now I'm going to show you a little bit like how I build it. How I make this possible that when you are back home, you can do exactly the same as me. What I did, so I create this org, and this org now have Einstein Discovery. So it's how you are going to access Einstein Discovery directly from the app switcher. You click on it, and it's going to open a new tab, and you are going to be able to create your story. So a story, you have to see it like a way to create your model to do the prediction and prescriptions. And like any model, the first step that you have to do is you have to load the data, load the training set of data. For that, you will go in your data set, and you can see we can bring data from multiple systems, not only Salesforce, but also external systems. So if you want to do some prediction also on Salesforce plus something in Hadoop, something in Oracle, or Postgre, or Heroku, you can do that from there. In my case, all my data in Salesforce, So I can easily click on the cloud, and I'm going to select the fact that I want to bring the property object, where I have all the informations. Now the next, I'm going to select which field I want to use to create the model. So here, it's all the field available on my object, access value. You can see also we go through like the lookup, so I can see brokers, which are attached to properties, but I don't really want to have field from that. So bedroom, bathroom. Then I can also select the other one, like for example, price, realtor, renovate, bathroom, kitchen, and state. And now we'll just copy the data. So now it's going to bring the data inside Einstein Discovery to be able to create a story. So here, it's going to take some like maybe 10 seconds. We are bringing like 57,000 records, and it's ready. So the next step here now is to clean the data to make a better story, because you know, like this tool is not to be able to find like outliners or exceptions. It's really about finding trends and what are the variables driving the price of the house. So for example, it tell me like you can just do date, not time, so I'm just going to ignore time. It tell me like the broker name is very few values, 1% of the value. Okay, I'm just going to keep it. And also, in my data set, I have very few value about MA. So I'm going just to remove it, like 18 rows over the 57,000. I click apply, and this is going to update my data set and make it cleaner. Now I can see all the columns that I have created from Salesforce, everything that is here. I can change the type. I can do also like a segmentation. So let's say I want to create a model, for example, only for specific realtors. I can do like sub-story if you want, because sometimes, you know, your business maybe not is the same in every region, for example, so you may want to create sub-segments, so you can do that too. So now I'm going to do the story. What do I want to do? I want to maximize the price of the house. But you can also like ask close questions. So for example, you know, if you have a data set about cases, you may want to say like, I want to maximize the number of cases that never reopen. Or I want to maximize the time to close my case. Or I want to maximize, you know, closure of opportunities. So you can really like, or any custom object. It's really a platform, so you can decide whatever you want to do. So in this case, I want to maximize the price, and I'm going to create a story. So at this point, it's going to go through every variables and be able to find the ones that have an impact on my price. So it's going to check, is it like the number of bedrooms? Is it like the number of bathrooms? Is it like the state? Is it like the realtors? Or is it like the state and the realtors? So it's going through over all this combination, and as you can see here, it's 500 combinations. So if I will have to do this myself, it will have taken like a lot of time. So this is really where the machine is going to help me to find a pattern and to be able to find what have an impact on my sold house. And finally, it's going through improvement. And improvement is, you know, in my UI, when I was saying like, oh, if you renovate the bathroom, you are going to have plus X, or if I renovate the kitchen, you are going to have plus Z. It's really where it's going to do this work. Now the story is created, and it's showing me the drivers. So what are the biggest driver for the price of the house? One of them is the assess value. So, I mean, I don't know, how many of you guys are in a realtor business, selling house? Nobody, it's normal, it's not really the place, that's okay. But assess value is kind of, you know, a big driver for the price of the house. I'm a realtor, so I know really what is business. And you can go through like the list, you know, like really the target for us is really to be able to explain what we have done here and what we have found in your data before to use a model, that you can understand, you know, what we are doing, and you don't sign like a check in white. You can also ask questions, for example, you know, why the assess value have so much importance. And when you do that, you will have like a wonderful chart which is going to explain you like why, you know, the average house who have this assess value have a higher selling value, because the access value is a big driver, but also access value and renovate kitchen is fourth. So it's really going to describe exactly what we are doing in the model and how we are seeing the data impacting the price of the house. What we are doing also here is in terms of transparency, we want to provide you the R code. So if you are data science, if you want to understand what we have done here, you can download the R code, you can run it on your own server if you want, or you can just trust us and don't do that. So here is really like what we are driving. And if you look at what I've done so far, I did not use any algorithm, I did not have to use any model, I did not have to create features or stuff like that. Really what we try to do is make it easy for people to do this, just what I did now. So now that this is ready, and I'm happy about the models that have been generated, I can use that to do the prediction real time in Salesforce. And to be able to do that, I have installed a managed package. So if I go to package, install, I can see the one I have deployed, which is Einstein Discovery, write back connectors. You can find it on the help and training. We have the link to it with all the instructions. So this is going to create the link between Salesforce and between Einstein Discovery. And the last piece that you may want to do is to write the trigger. The trigger is going to be the piece of code that every time you change the properties, it's going to call our method, and it's going to basically get the new scoring. And you can see here. So we have the trigger code. It's going to be called every time we are updating properties or inserting properties. We are going to use the custom settings. In the custom setting, it's where we are going to provide the model numbers that we want to use for the writeback. We are going to grab all the fields from the properties object, and then we are going to call the method to get the prescription back and to get the prescription back. So now, using this method, every time I'm going to update a property, it's going to call this trigger. This trigger is going to call my managed package. It's going to call Einstein Discovery. And Einstein Discovery is going to give me back the prediction. And I'm going to write back this directly inside my property object here. And the last piece is, for the process builder, what I did again, very simple. In the process builder, I've just created a flow for it, where I said like, oops, not this one. Here is this one. So what I say is every time my field, which is here, Einstein __C, is greater than the values that I want, I'm going to post a message on the record, but of course I can do whatever action I want. I can do the same with another trigger if I want, or like with a workflow rules. So then now you can create really like automation, like if I know that this house, for example, has a very huge value and they want to do something else, or drive a different process or different selling process. So everything that I show you basically is possible following the different steps that you can see in the slide here. So, nothing rocket science, everybody can do it. We get a lot of people super excited who are trying it. And again, you go to Trailhead, you don't need to speak to any Salesforce person, you can just create your org and try the product. Any question? On the real estate market or Einstein Discovery? Either way. Yes?
You showed the article. Nobody's going to slow me down. Is that something that's just for doing
So a question about the R code is, can I change the R code and maybe tweak it and do my own stuff if I want to? So in our product, you cannot do that. What we are doing really is we are creating and generating the model for you. If you want to tweak it and make it your own, you will have to take it and run it on another platform if you want to run it on another platform. But really, it's not a tool for data science to tweak and create their own stuff. It's really more for an analyst who want to do analysis and understand more their data and be able to write it back, but without like a huge background in data science. Any other question? 1, 2. So, if you want, as I mentioned, you can go to Trailhead. You search for Einstein Discovery Basic. We have like 2 Trailhead that you can follow, where you can create your own story. You can bring data from also like Heroku, Oracle, to create a richer story if you want to, and have some fun there. So, thank you very much.